Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now, baby.
Welcome, everybody, to the Growing Through a Breakup podcast series. I'm your girl, Chloe, and this is how everything's going to go from now on. I'm going to give you a little rundown on why this podcast is what it is, where it came from, how it even was thought of, and just everything that comes with it. So I hope you guys really like it, really enjoy it. Just sit back because it's a lot that we're gonna go through. So for starters is the why of this. And it's come about rather quickly, but everything really has fell in my lap, knowing and telling me that this is the right thing to do. The why is basically it exists solely because heartbreak is so real. And if you don't take the proper time to heal, God would keep putting you in positions where life forces you to confront everything at once. This podcast was originally just a digital diary for me, but I excited to make it a series because I hope females younger and even older than me that have gone through similar situations can learn from mine and understand how important it is to put yourself first. As a Black woman myself in a world that treats us so cold, you really have to be strong. And a quote by the late Malcolm X states that the most disrespected person in America is a Black woman. We have to take our power back. And this was my way of doing that. It'll be different series. This is just not going to start and stop with episodes about heartbreak. The first installment will be about 6 episodes about my past relationship, my most recent breakup, the one that hit me like a ton of bricks. But it goes through every process that people don't like talking about, the nitty gritty of what you've been through. But this is a way of healing for myself, and I know that people are going through the same things, and I just feel compelled. The reason why this podcast came about is because I never properly healed from breakups prior. I never thought I was the problem, so we'll get into that later on in different episodes. But when it comes to the series going through a breakup, it really forces you to really heal by talking through the traumas that you have been through and are overcoming in a way that makes you feel okay about it, not forgetting about it, but just being okay with the situation as it was laid out in front of you. And let me just tell you guys, God is so real because my best friend, I had told my best friend that I wanted to start a podcast or a digital journal, and wanted to do it on an old tape recorder because I wanted to the nostalgic feel. And then I decided to turn around and do it as a podcast. But I told her this on the 9th of March. And I told her I wanted to start it on the 11th because that's 2 months since I actually broke off from the relationship. I left the relationship, and it was just sentimental to me to start talking about it at that point. Now, fast forward to the 11th, I have no tape recorder or anything like that. I actually stopped at an estate sale with my mom and cousin, and at the estate sale, as soon as I walked in, on the table, it was a cassette player and an unused cassette tape. Now you can't tell me God isn't real. The same day was the first day I actually recorded on my tape recorder this introductory section. And from then on, it's just like I couldn't stop writing. It was like it was meant to be, this whole thing, everything that I went through. And I'm still learning and growing about it. Everything was meant to be. Like I was meant to be placed to talk to you guys about this and just be free in my healing and not worry about judgment from anybody or criticism or how could you do that or why did you let this go on for so long? It just made it make sense. Now, I'm not going to get too in depth with this first one. I plan on making the episodes really like lengthy. I have them already scripted out, kind of, sort of, because I had to get an idea of what and how I wanted to shape this podcast. But I do intend on, at the end of every one, I intend on pulling a card from my box that says be still and know. And this one, from the first one, it says, if you don't limit your dreams, you'll never stop growing. And I feel like that's a perfect way to end this first intro episode of growing through a breakup. So it's your girl Chloe, and I'm signing out today, but I will be back very soon with the first episode, which is called Relationship Grieving.